All right, Shalom, this is your brother Yuwanathan. All right, first and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rachak Kodash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And I want to say Shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. All right, may the blessing of election be upon your house. Now, I make this statement all the time, and we're going to back it up with precepts today. To love righteousness is to hate wickedness, and that's by default. Okay, so we're going to go through the precepts and show how all the men of the Lord who were given to us for examples on how to walk uprightly and what it looks like to receive salvation and what their perspective was to the things going on around them, much like the many of things that are going around us today. So this is Psalms 139. We got a couple Psalms here. Psalms 139 and verse 20 is where we'll start. The point is down in 21. It says, "For they speak against thee wickedly, and thine enemies take thy name in vain." Many unbelievers, they make mockery of the Most High, of the judgments that we were instructed to make. Especially now, because the Lord isn't, this isn't a part in the movie where he does things blatantly out in the open like he was doing when we came out of Egypt. So a lot of people, they're just in this spirit of, racking up sins, racking up judgment. And we'll get that actually in, I believe that's in Malachi. It talks about how the wicked are racking up judgment. But this is Psalms 139 and 21. It says, "Do not I hate them, O Lord, that hate thee? And am not I grieved with those that rise up against thee?" So hate is in the Bible. We are supposed to have a great disdain for evil, for things that are contrary to the instructions that our Father has given us. And David, reading the Psalms here, the scriptures say that he was one after the Most High's own heart, which is why he was made king. Okay? And which is why in the kingdom of heaven is established on earth, he's going to be king again. This is one of the top spirits in Israel, regardless of the mistakes that he made as David. One of the top spirits in Israel. And this is his perspective on the world around him. And it's not a one-off perspective, okay? All of the men of the Lord view things the way David did. Okay, Psalms 139 and 22. "I hate them with a perfect hatred. I count them mine enemies," because they do become your enemies. And we're going to see that on a large scale as Jacob's trouble begins to unfold here in America and all across the world where Israel is scattered. Psalms 139:23. "Search me, O power, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts, and see if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way of everlasting." Okay, now let's go to Psalms 119, and we'll go to 157. Now, in Psalms 119 and 9, it poses the question, "Wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed thereto according to thy word." That's what the righteous are going to do. That's what the believers are going to do. Okay? And when they begin to walk in that, inward change happens, man. The old man is casted off. Like it says in, let me go get it really quick. I believe it is in... bear with me here. Yeah, 2 Corinthians 5 and 17. "Therefore, if any man be in the Mashiach, he is a new creature. Old things are passed away. Behold, all things are become new." You become a new person when you take hold onto this word. So by default, enemies come along with that. All right, Psalms 119 and 157. Again, Psalms 119 and 157. "Many are my persecutors and mine enemies." Yet do not I decline from thy testimonies. I beheld the transgressors, and was grieved, because they kept not thy word. Consider how I love thy precepts. Quicken me, O Lord, according to thy loving kindness. Thy word is true from the beginning, and every one of thy righteous judgments endureth forever. Princes have persecuted me without cause. And that's getting ready to come in the biggest way. All right, the dukes of Edom, the princes of Edom, are getting ready to persecute the elect of Israel. But my heart, they've been doing it. But my heart standeth in awe of thy word. I rejoice at thy word, as one that findeth great spoil. And this is a great treasure to us. So there's nothing that could get us to turn from it. So we can't be manipulated with any carnal gifts by the carnal means. Scripture said gift destroyeth the heart. But as in regards to the elect, the only true gift they're concerned about is the Lord's word, the wisdom that he's imparted unto us. So you can't be swayed or manipulated by anything. You see. Now let's go to Revelation, 2nd chapter. We'll start at the top. The point I wanted into. So this lesson is pretty much for new people. When you come in, you're like, you're so used to not ruffling feathers or being on anybody's bad side, not having really real enemies in the world. No, we're supposed to take a strong stance against evil. We don't go along to get along. We're very intolerant of the evil things that are going around us. Now, when we're out in the world and we are amongst, the people, we're supposed to be harmless as doves. So, some things you try to ignore. You kind of have a breath of stoicism when you're around people that are talking about wickedness or doing wickedness, or you try to, remain unfazed by it. But in the mind, man, you should be vexed. Now, I'm not saying you're walking around depressed and angry all day, but the elect, like it says in Ezekiel 9:4, okay? And let's actually go there. Let's go to Ezekiel 9:4. It says the elect are going to be sighing and crying for the abominations being done in the midst thereof. Those that receive the mark of exemption are going to be sighing and crying. All right? And the Lord said unto him, this is Ezekiel 9:4, and it's a great chapter to read when you, to get a visual aid of, the Lord commissioning, who's going to make it and who's not. This is basically the chapter, like a naughty and nice list. Basically, Ezekiel 9. You start from the top. But I just want to get to the point here in verse 4. And it reads, and the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem. And Jerusalem is always, remember, a people before it is a place. And set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Now this mark here in Ezekiel 9:4 is a mark of exemption from judgment. Much different from the mark in Revelation 13:16, which is charagma, a physical incision in the flesh. Okay, two different words there in the Greek. Right, New Testament was written in Greek, Old Testament was written in Hebrew, and today we have it in the English. But it's always good to go back to the root words to get a deeper understanding of what was actually being said. Okay, now let's go to the parallel scripture with it, which would be Revelation 9:4, because this is this instance in which the Lord commissions certain angels to go destroy amongst Israel, and one angel to mark a mark upon the foreheads of those that sigh and cry is referenced in Revelation 9:4. It says, and it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of God in their foreheads. Okay, the seal of God, that mark of God, much different again than the mark in Revelation 13:16. Now let's read the Revelation 2, and I'll just start at the top. It says, and unto the angel of the church of Ephesus write, these things saith that he holdeth the 7 stars in his right hand, who walketh in the midst of the 7 golden candlesticks. I know thy works, and thy labor, and thy patience, and how thou canst not bear them which are evil. It's getting to the point to where these people that are the evildoers are becoming unbearable. And thou hast tried them which say they are apostles and are not, and has found them liars. And also what's happening as of late is a lot of people who, know they're Israelites are being revealed to be, paid off, just plain out wicked, and not coming in the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. So the Lord is revealing who he's actually dealing with in these times as well. Okay? Now let's get the precept on which this whole lesson is based around. Let's go to 2 Peter's 2, and we'll start at verse 5, okay? And spared not the old world, but saved Noah, the 8th person. Remember, we're dealing with the same power that killed everybody upon the face of the earth and saved Noah, his wife, and his sons and their wives. Killed everybody and saved 8 people. Like it says in 2 Ezra, the 9th chapter, 15th verse, there be many more of them which perish than of them which shall be saved. Like as a wave is greater than a drop. So the Lord is not opposed to saving a small handful of people. And that's what it's going to seem like when the destruction takes place. The 1/3 are going to be saved and 144,000. That's not going to be a big number compared to the billions of people that perish here. Okay? And spared not the old world, but saved Noah, the 8th person, a preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly, and turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemned them with an overthrow. In America, the daughter of Babylon, all right, is spiritual Sodom and Egypt. It's a place of bondage for us, and it pushes the vibration of those 5 cities heavy, right? Making them an example unto those that after should live ungodly. Verse 7. And delivered just Lot, not just Lot because he also delivered his 2 daughters, but it's saying just here as in Lot was a just man. And delivered just Lot, vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. And much like the elect are going to be vexed, much as we are vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. Lot in this story, in his account, represented the elect. Okay? Verse 8. For that righteous man dwelling among them, and seeing and hearing, vexed his righteous soul from day to day with their unlawful deeds. The Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptations, and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished. But chiefly them that walk after the flesh in the lust of uncleanness, and despise government. And our people despise government. They look at the instructions and the do's and don'ts that the Lord has given us as a prison, when in all actuality it's a guardrail from death. Okay? And those who are lovers of death, can the lovers of life coexist with them? No. Amos 3 and 3, can 2 walk together except they be agreed? And we are not agreed. Presumptuous are they, self-willed. They are not afraid to speak evil of dignities. Okay, so they take on a lot of wicked characteristics, a very evil perspective, a very corrupted moral compass. All right, just like the people who take on the vibration of Sodom in Romans, the 1st chapter, when it talks about, the Lord gives them over to that particular spirit, that filthy spirit. Then it proceeds on to go into all the wicked characteristics. Once that spirit has come upon them, they are willing to display. And it's no different with these people who despise the government of the Lord. Okay, 2 Peter 2 and 11. Whereas angels, which are greater in power and might, bring not railing accusation against them before the Lord. Everything is being recorded in the heavens. So, although these people, it seems like they just get away with doing all the wicked shit that they do, 2/3 and the wicked, right? It just seems like they just get away. They get away with it all. It's being recorded, and they're going to answer for what they did in the day of judgment. So we must have patience is all. All right, 2 Peter 2 and 12. But these, as natural brute beasts, because brute beasts have no what? Brute beasts have no order. So when the scriptures compare man to beasts, it's because he lacks order. When that breath of life was breathed into Adam, Adam was given order, you see. And today we, to the best of our ability, rehearse it. Okay? We rehearse that order. All right, Judges 5 and 11. We rehearse the righteous acts. All right, 2 Peter 2 and 12, where it starts to say made to be taken. All right, 2 Peter 2 and 12, made to be taken and destroyed, those brute beasts, right? Speak evil of things that they understand not. Many people come at this truth, especially the Christians, and they don't fully understand what they're speaking evil of. They don't fully understand they're speaking evil of the solution to the earth's problems. So by default, they're advocating for this evil to continue in the earth. Just because they don't like initially that this thing is, exclusive to a particular family on the earth, they disregard the good that the Bible talks about he's going to do with this family and with the son through this people he has chosen, and shall utterly perish in their own corruption. Verse 13, and shall receive the reward of unrighteousness is they that count it pleasure to riot in the daytime. Spots they are blemishes, sporting themselves with their own deceivings while they feast with you. Yeah, man, they revel in the wickedness that they do. Verse 14, having eyes full of adultery, and that cannot cease from sin, iniquity, sin upon sin, with no thought in their minds of turning away from their ways. No thought in their mind from turning from it. Beguiling unstable souls, and heart that have exercised with covetous practices, cursed children, which have forsaken the right way, and are gone astray, following the way of Balaam, the son of Bezor, who loved the wages of unrighteousness. Okay, but there's going to be a recompense for it. And let's get that recompense in Malachi 3 and 15. There's many places you can get the recompense. Of course, we talk about judgment all day and night. That's our job, and our reasonable service, and our good pleasure. All right, this speak of the justice that is going to come upon earth by way of our power. All right, Malachi 3 and 15. And now we call the proud happy. Yeah, they that work wickedness are set up. Yeah, they that tempt God are even delivered. Yeah, they thrive in their evil, right? But with patience, we're going to see the end of it. Verse 16, Malachi 3 and 16. Then they that feared the Lord spake often one to another, and the Lord hearkened and heard it, and a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared the Lord. All right, that mark of exemption they were to receive in Ezekiel 9 and 4, and also referenced again in Revelation 9 and 4. And that thought upon his name. Again, the name comes up and its importance, and you have many people who know they're Israelites who disregard the importance of the name and disregard the fact that we're going to have it in this time, that it's going to be a strong tower and that the righteous are going to run into it and be safe, like the scriptures say. All right, Malachi 3 and 17. And they shall be mine, saith the Lord of hosts, in that day when I make up my jewels, and I will spare them. We hope to be spared, man. Pardon. As a man spareth his own son that serveth him. And we've been serving the Lord, Abaratazah. We see it through, and we're a part of this number. Because much death is getting ready to go out. Malachi 3 and 18. Then shall you return and discern between the righteous and the wicked, between him that serveth God and him that serveth him not. All right, so again, to love righteousness is to hate wickedness, and that's by default. So with that being said, man, Lord willing, you got something from the lesson. And I'm probably going to do a part 2 to this and go through some of the stories on, how the different afflictions that the men of the Lord were going through. They always had a great disdain for the contrary ways that the societies they were living in were operating in. It was a burning of their souls, man, dwelling there. But whether they were abased or bound, they held fast to the conduct that the Lord gave us. All right, and it takes faith to do that. You can't walk or rehearse the righteous acts to the best of your ability unless you have that special gas in your tank, and that gas is faith. Okay, so with that being said, man, Lord willing, lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises once more to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakah Kodash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And I want to say shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. All right? May the blessing of election be upon your house. Shalom.